YouTube, hello. Today we're gonna have a little bit unique speed lab, I guess, because we're gonna be playing Lili, and we're gonna be labbing against Lars. I already told the guy who requested this that, you know, I don't know Lili that well. I know some things, but not too well. But what's important here is anti-Lars. Like, the important part is how to deal with Lars. That's what's important. So, Lars. What to say about Lars? Lars is a pretty simple character in my opinion. And a lot of people play him very, very aggressively, but that's also playing very, very risky. Like, you'll see a lot of this shits, right? This shits, for example. Or these kind of stances. You'll see these a lot, these stances, on most Lars players. Like after this move, for example, after this move, for example. They can't do it. Those are like the most common ones. So you have to be very careful and you have to understand these stances. Before we go into the stances and, you know, how to deal with them, first let's like talk about Lars' general playstyle. So Lars, if the Lars player is decent enough, is a defensive character in my opinion, because he excels at two things. One is making space with his good backdash because his backdash is a little bit above average, and two, using that space to whiff punish because his whiff punishment tools are so good. So if a Lars player is good, whiff punishing against them is not a good idea. It's something like back 34, for example. When I play Lars, I abuse this. If I see a whiff, this just reaches to the stars. Look at the range on this. There's a lot of range. So it's an amazing whiff punisher. Lars players can also use this to whiff punish. You know, just backdash, see a whiff. Launch, or arc blast to whiff punish. Like that. So be careful about that. A good defensive Lars player will be ready for those kind of whiffs. So whiffing against Lars, it's a little bit no, you know. Even more than normal. The other things Lars players do also is a kind of a keep out kind of playstyle when they use down back 4 when they are backdashing, right? This is for keep out purposes. Don't think that they're scrubs for doing this because it's not that bad to do this. This is a keep out down back 4. What this does is when you're, you know, moving into neutral, you're kind of scared to go forward and apply pressure with like down forward ones or jabs. For example, because Lars showing you don't come close, I have this. Of course, the Lars player is actually taking a lot of risk by doing that, because if you do block it, like literally just block it randomly, it's a launch, right? To whatever combo. But be aware that Lars players do this as a keep out move. And it's hard to whiff punish. As a Lili player, you can sometimes, I think, whiff punish it with 3-1 because you have that as an option. This is a very good whiff punisher, 3-1, especially if you can wall splat with it, wall bounce. So as a Lili player, this is your best whiff punisher. And if you do see something like that, that's your best tool. When it comes to like whiff punishment in general, I think 3-1 is amazing as a Lili player. Because if it's at the wall, you're gonna get a wall bounce into, you know, another screw, wall combo, decent damage, very, very good damage. Especially if you do, you know, this combo, not that one. This one at the wall, that will be like insane damage, because that's also possible after this wall bounce. Okay, that's about the general game plan of Lars. Most good players will play defensive, find a whiff. But if you like play too defensive, then they come in and start aggressive play, right? So let's talk about Lars' aggressive play, more or less. So, when it comes to Lars, I'm pretty sure a lot of people know that his lows are a little bit mediocre. He doesn't have the best lows. The best low he has is this one right here, the full crouch 1+2. Or down forward 1+2, whatever you want to call it. But it takes him to actually go full crouch in your face and then do it. So good Lars players will most likely utilize this after a knockdown. For example, this, they'll do this and mix you up. So when it comes to his full crouch mix-up, that's his best kind of mix-up because his best low is over there. This may come in two kind of situations, at least for, you know, good Lars players. One is after a knockdown, for example, this situation, if they see you not pressing anything and respecting it, they might mix this up with something like, I don't know, wall standing 2-1. Just wall standing 2 or even wall standing 1. So any kind of mid mix-up works here as a Lars player. And the second condition when they use it is after a wall combo. They get the wall splat, you know, this, wall combo. You tech roll, they duck in your face and mix you up. This can also happen. So be aware that whenever they duck, you have to react to the duck animation and know that your brain has to activate, right? I'm in the mix-up right now. So you gotta know about it. Now let's talk about the properties of this move since, you know, we're already at this. So this, it's minus 12, so Lili doesn't get while standing 1 punish. This doesn't work. You have to do while standing 4. And on hit, it's minus 1. So if a Lars player does something like 1-2 here, after on hit, and you do a 1-2 yourself, you're gonna lose. Right? So the mind game here is kinda simple. It's a minus 1 mind game, and both of you are standing right next to each other. So if you do this, and they do something like a 2-1, for example, your best bet is to sidestep. Especially as a Lili player, your best bet in many situations is to just sidestep. So sidestep, launch this shit, right? With any kind of launcher, hop kick or whatever. This shit. Crouch cancel 2-4. Oh, you mean this? I'm not sure. Yep, that's possible. I mean, if you're good enough, you can even do that. Just like Jin would do that. But if you want to be safe, just while standing 4. And after this low, he does not recover in crouch. Right? You can punish with highs. The thing is, the recovery is crouching sometimes, but it's like a few frames. Like first few frames, it does crouch. But when it actually starts recovering, highs do work. But still, be careful and, you know, go for a mid punish. As I said, 3-1 is your best one. Didn't have the execution to 2-4 to minus 17. Chang. Chang is a savage, man. Chang's a savage. So yeah. This low, oh wait, I almost forgot. This low has pretty good tracking, but never mind. It's not good enough for Lili. Lili can step it. Wow! I mean, no surprise, it's Lili, man. The Lili players can't even step this to the left. Most of the time, this has pretty decent tracking. It will track normal characters most of the time. But against if you're playing Lili, sidestep left will actually avoid this. Like, I didn't know this. As I said, I'm not, you know, that good with Lili. I don't know too many special interactions with her. But as a Lili player, this is still good to know. Because if they just crouch, you can sidestep to the left, and you can even avoid something like this, right? Wait. Can they avoid this as well? Oh my god! Sidestep left, boys. I don't think they have a mix-up anymore. Wait, while standing 4. Never mind. And that's something. Yeah, sidestep left is basically very, very good against the full crouch mix-up. Just be careful. As I said, most Lava players will use this on knockdown when you can't sidestep it. You know, or after wall combo and stuff like that. But if they do come up to you into neutral, sidestep left is great. Everybody says sidestep right all the time versus Lars, unless you're playing Lili. The thing is, you do sidestep right against Lars. But when you're playing Lili, this is a special interaction. That's why I said Lili has very, very good sidestep. When it comes to this, normally you can't step it. That's why you just have to get this schmixed. I mean, get schmixed. And you can't step this either. That's why normally a normal character will stay there and guess. But as a Lili player, you can actually sidestep to the left. It's a special interaction. If you sidestep to the right, this will actually, you know, catch you. It has more tracking to the right, as you can see. But if I go to the left, Lili magically steps it. Even though that's normally not possible, you know, not many characters can do that. So when it comes to full couch mix, that's good. And the thing is, I think Lili kinda doesn't care which side he steps Lars. More or less. Like down back 2, for example, has decent tracking, but oh my god! You guys saw that? That was minus 12. Minus 20, I mean. Because the second one whiffs. That's incredible. Holy shit. But yeah, the best thing you have to look out for is the Lili players, Lars' back 1. That's his tracking move. But it's a mediocre tracking move because it does this on knockdown and it's +4. So you shouldn't be too afraid of it. You really should not. Because this is his best tracking move and the next best one is this, but this is slow. This is like 21 frames and it's -11. So not a lot of Lars players will do this outside of setups. Sidestep 2 tracks weak side. Sidestep 2 tracks pretty well in general because it's a sidestep move. But we're talking about Lili. Yeah, nah. We're talking about Lili here. That's why I said you have to look out for this. So yeah, Lili. Lili's sidestep, man. I think it's very, very underrated. If Lili players actually lab the character and the special interactions, it will be like very cancer to deal with some of the stuff Lili can do. Okay, that's about the full crouch mix-up, more or less. The next best thing a Lars player can do when they, come towards you and they want to, start something is a down back 1 or down back 1-3. That's like his best low option to start kind of a, pressure. But since you're a Lili player, the best thing you can do is, as I said, sidestep left, because after they do this thing right here, a lot of Lars players check with this. And this is a good check because normally, so this is what it does. This will crush jabs, just like this, right? Normally it will crush jabs, unless the jab is good. Some jabs won't be crushed, like 2D jabs, for example. So that's why Lars players do this. It's very good to do. And you can't sidestep it normally either. But being a Lili player, you just do this. Right? You sidestep and it just whips magically. Normally this has amazing tracking. So, this is what I'm talking about, special interactions with Lili. If you do something like this into 4, for example, the sidestep left will also avoid that. You get a launch. If you do something like this into, full crouch mix, this is also a thing they can do. If you sidestep to the left, you'll still avoid the first hit. The second one will track there, though. To be honest, I thought it would whiff, since it's Lili we're talking about. But, hey, it's still good that the first one whiffs, because if the second one, if just the second one comes out, you can react to it and block it. So a sidestep left and sidewalk left there is just too good. Way too good. Because the options Lars has to track you in crouch is basically this. And if this doesn't work, I don't know what does. Something like this, will this work? I swear she'll sidestep it. I knew it! I fuck Lili, man, this character. Right? Yeah. Like after this, for example, right? Sidestep left is amazing. Amazing. And Lars has trouble tracking you. So if you spam sidesteps literally after everything you do, and in general, as a Lili player, that's what you're supposed to do, it will work very well. Like something like down forward to 1, for example. You can sidestep it to the left, you can even sidestep it to the right. It doesn't matter as a Lili player. It really does not. Something like back 4, usually this tracks to the left. But you can even, oh my goodness. Why am I teleporting? You just teleport and you're gone, right? Normally this tracks that side pretty well. But you can avoid it. But if you go to the right, of course it's even easier to avoid it. Something like that. I think it's okay to request any character, man. Like something like this can also be stepped to the left, just like that. Or to the right, just like that. So your best weapon against Lars as a Lili player is your sidestep. Because you have to force them to use this, because they don't want to use this. It's a shit move. It's not that good. Yeah. And as an offense starter, let's just talk about Justice as well. I already talked about this. So the offense starter when it comes to Justice. When it's Justice, you're in a +1 mind game. You're plus, they're minus. And most Lars players, most good ones, might just backdash to create space and arc blast, something like this. If you do jab, or down forward 1, something like this will happen. So they usually use down back 1 as a space creator with their backdash. That's what good Lars players do. The other Lars players that just want to be aggressive more than defensive start their aggression with while standing 2. As I said, Lili players can sidestep it, but let's talk about the situation when you don't sidestep it. Oh, before I go to that, let's talk about the block frames. So normally this is 12, and it high crushes. You cannot do a fancy crouch cancel 2-4, right? So you have to punish it with wall standing 4, just this. And then it comes down back to 1-3, like that. This is launch because it's a little low high. But if you mash 4, let's say you block this and you're mashing 4, the high will not hit you. So it's a guaranteed punish no matter what you do if you just mash a 4. So yeah, you do something like that. Now let's talk about the pressure that Lars can do after wall standing 2 and stances in general, like this stance. So stance pressure normally is kinda easy to deal with, especially if you see it coming and you can react to it. But the one time it's a little bit hard to deal with is after wall standing 2. So let's say you block wall standing 2, right? You just block it. It is -8 and you kinda have your turn, but there's a follow-up, which is kinda delayed. So if you do press here, you are gonna get hit. And if you do sidestep here, you're also gonna get hit. Like being Lili will not help you here. Being Lili and having her high sidestep will not help. You still get hit. So you have to be kinda respect this on its own because of this follow-up. So you don't move and you don't press because of the follow-up. If you do, you're gonna get countered. So that's the mind game basically. Sometimes you can press here, but just be aware that you're risking getting countered launched. So now the mind game starts. Can you parry the second? I'm not sure. I've never tried it personally. Because you know I'm not the parry player. You can. You can parry it. Power crush. How's the power crush? Down forward 1+2, back 1+2, down back 1+2. I forgot the power crush. Down 1, gotcha. Nah, you cannot power crush. Oh, down 1+2. Yeah, no. You can parry it, but you can't power crush through it. But the thing is, I don't think parrying it is worth it anyway. Because, you know, just get a normal punish. Unless your parry is strong. Unless your parry is strong, I don't think it's worth it because it's too much risk. If you parry and something like this happens, right? You'll feel stupid. You'll feel like you're dumb. So that's why I don't think parrying is worth it. You just stay, hold the back, and if this comes out, you just punish it. You don't need to parry it. You really don't. It's a little bit risky. If you have a good parry, like maybe, I don't know, Fang, that launches, maybe it's worth it. But yeah, other than that, it's not going to be worth it. But let's talk about the stance pressure. So when this happens, Lars players have like 2 or 3 options that they usually do. And they have one more option if they're at the wall. The options are this. So stance 2, which is their low option. Stance 1, which is their mid option. Stance 3, which is their another mid option. So there are 2 options he has for mid. Or they can also do this. Not at the wall, but they could just do it in general. Teacher thick for fall. But you won't see this almost ever. I said wall because I was thinking about this stance. Just ignore that. So those 3, the first 3 I mentioned, are the options you have to look out for. So this low is a very, very good low. It is -12. If you do block it, you only get this kind of punish. And also, wait, can't do this if I remember correctly. Never mind, you cannot do this. But yeah, just do wall standing 4 here. This is their low mix-up. It's -12, but the big thing to remember is +6. So what happens here is you're gonna get schmixed from full crouch. Because Lars is crouching after it. So this is what you have to remember. On hit, Lars is crouching, and most likely you'll see something like this as a check, this as a mix-up, or this as a mix-up, or maybe even this as a mix-up. Oh, and full crouch mix-up, I forgot to mention that he also has this. This is another mid option he has. So let's say you got hit by this. And they do a wall standing 2 to check you. The one big difference about the situation with Lili is that you cannot step, actually. I need to check this as well, because I was not sure if she could step it. Because you're 2-, the wall standing 2 will track you. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. Can she up to the +4? This? To avoid that? You want some setups? Let's see. That's a good idea. Right? Maybe something like this. Let's see if she avoids that. Oh my goodness. Okay, it does, but it's not worth it. You don't get the launch. Weird interaction. You don't want that happening. Weird interaction. But yeah, so this full crouch mix you actually have to respect because of the frames. This will track you if you sidestep to the left. And of course if they finish it, it's gonna be guaranteed. So it's kind of a mix-up between this, and maybe even this, or this, and this. Or this, and this. Right? This thing's track you. So this is the one time you have to respect the full crouch mix as a Lili player. If you're any other character, you have to respect it anyway, but as a Lili player, you have to remember this particular situation. You have to respect it. And if you do press something, this is a frame trap, which is also, you know, counter the launcher. Which does a back 1+2. Sure, let's test that out as well. With this, it does not work. And Lili is in crouch here, yeah. I almost forgot to mention that. You are in crouch. So if you do press, you have to press a wall standing move. But it's never worth it because of this being a thing. This. But sometimes you can, of course, just hop kick. For example, random hop kick. Never press? No, it's not never press. It's in this situation. Because he's just too much plus. Other than that, he doesn't have this many plus frames. Like, even in this situation, it's like +1. What else? Even this is like +6. Not too many plus. It's +5. The best plus he has, I think, is this +8. I'm pretty sure it's this. And maybe... Nah, not even that. I'm pretty sure it's this. Hop kick, yeah, hop kick can work sometimes, especially if they do it slow for the low. But the one thing is, if you block it. Let's talk about the situation where you block while standing 2, and they go for the mix-up. So normally, you see this, you can kind of step it to the right. And if you do react to it, it's very possible, especially as a Lili player. Even though that move can track well, you're playing Lili. So if you sidestep left, as a reaction, you can actually avoid this. Well, sidewalk left. If you sidestep, this might catch you anyway. Never mind, this not. We're playing Lili here, I forgot. So that's your best option. You see this, going to stance, you react to it, sidestep right. But if you don't, you have some other options. Just hold back, you have to guess either the low or the mid. But sidestepping is your best bet. Because it not only avoids the low, it also avoids all the other options, like this one for example. Damn, really? There you go. I messed up the timing. I was messing up the timing there. So yeah, be careful about it. Yeah, that does avoid it. Even if you go to the left, it will avoid it. And even if you go do something like this, I'm pretty sure that will get avoided as well. Never mind, that doesn't get annoyed. That tracks. That even tracks Lili, damn. But yeah, if you go left, I think that works. You're Lars main yourself? I play Lars a lot too. Lars is like my secondary at this point. So you can go right to for the low or the other mid, but the 3 tracks you, but if you go left, I think everything else whiffs. I'm just not used to sidestepping Lars to the left, because usually stuff tracks, you know? But I think Lili's sidestep is just that good. Yeah, I think left is the way. Sidestep left after wall standing 2, if you react to it, it works really well. Oh shit. Yeah. So that's about the stance pressure, normally. But this stance is different from this one. People use this stance as pressure, usually at the wall. So the two things you'll see, usually at the wall, is this into Hell Sweep, is their, you know, low option, which is kind of slow, but it can work, especially because this is a new tactics. I don't know why it's called, I always forget. Or this as a mid option. And they will usually use this. Oh my goodness, even sweep his step to the left. They will usually use this after like a wall combo or something. But as a Lili player, as I keep talking about it, if you sidestep to the left, everything whiffs. Literally everything will whip, as long as you don't time it incorrectly. Or if the Lars player times it correctly, you cannot sidestep it. It depends, right? But as a Lili player, you have to understand that sidestep left is very, very strong in this situation. Very strong. Because the only thing they can do is this, as I already said, and this is shit. It's +4, creates pushback, it's -9, it's not punishable, but it doesn't have much rage. You can just whip punish it whenever it whiffs. Okay, because Lars players hate it when you sidestep their moves, because they're easily steppable. And they will hate you even more because you're playing Lili and you're sidestepping everything they do. Because something like this, for example, let's see if it's steppable. It's not, okay. I would be fuming if this was steppable. It's not steppable. But something like this being steppable, for example, is kind of bullshit, right? So they will be angry at that, 100%. Okay, now let's talk about some of the mind games and some setups, maybe something like that. Does it apply as well in Tekken 8 Lars? I mean, I'm not sure, man. Tekken 8 will be a very, very different game. Very different. We'll have to like do separate labbing sessions for Tekken 8. Very, very separately. But yeah, let's talk about some setups that Lars players can do. And most of them come after down forward 1. Not most of them, but the normal ones. So something like this into 1-1-1 is pretty common. Because this is -1, and if you do a down forward 1 check, you're gonna get countered by this. And you'll usually see this at the wall. And as a Lili player, of course, you can just sidestep everything. Okay, last hit kind of tracks you. Damn, the last hit. Yeah, just be aware of this. And just come up with a solution on your own, because the best solution for me, if you want my advice, is to sidestep and punish the 1-1. That's usually how it goes. And the other thing they can do is not that. This right here, as a setup. If you do 1-2, for example, it's gonna whiff, because that thing just crushes. And you're gonna get hit. It's just a pure high crush here. So sidestep block is your best option. For the 1-1 and this, because this is slow. That's your best option right there. Oh, and I forgot, as a Lili player, try to punish with this as much as possible. If it's -12. In that situation, it was -11. This. So you can't do that. But in any other situation, do punish with 4-2-3, because it's a busted punish. It's so good. What about Minor Horn? I mean, you can do Minor Horn as well. But it's like riskier, right? Something like this. It's doable. But it's a hard read. Because if they do this into a backdash, you're gonna look stupid. You're gonna look stupid. And you're gonna feel stupid. So be careful. Because not every time they'll do something like this or the other setup, you know. Or after the setup, it's sidewalk left. Yeah, if you want to punish with it, it can work. Right? Something like this. A lot of the players do this. Bum, bum! Improvised combo. I don't know the combos, I don't remember them. I played Lili a little bit till Emperor, but I don't remember a lot of stuff. Okay. What else to remember? There are some frame traps Lars has. Like, for example, this into this. Right? And this is usually not steppable, but I'm not sure about Lili. Okay, even Lili can't step it. Damn, I'm so happy. So you have to respect this. You cannot step this into back forward. If you press, of course you're gonna get countered. So you have to respect the back forward on hit. It is why I love this move. In spite it having very bad tracking to one side, and for Lili, both sides, it's still a good move. So you have to respect this. Yeah, it's a lot of damage. This is with rage. That's why it's 60. Normally it's 55. And on block it's -8, I think. Yep, -8. It is safe. So it's a good move, but it's very steppable to both sides. Normally it has decent tracking to the left, but even Lili can step to both sides. Yeah, backboard is amazing. I really like backboard. One of my favorite moves Lars has. Damn. What else? I already talked about this, right? At the wall, you usually see this and this. Let's talk about the situations with these two moves. If you do block this instead of sidestepping, as a little player, you know, I told you sidestep, but sometimes you block it. That's fine. You're gonna be -6. But you're playing Lili, and even in -6, you can sidestep. Because what they can do is down forward 1, for example, right? To check you. Oh, you can't! Wow, I'm surprised. Never mind. Never mind. I was fucking up. You have to sidewalk left, I think. Yep, you can. Have to sidewalk to the left. Yeah, I'm still surprised I couldn't step it though. But yeah, you're -6, so the mind game is a little bit iffy. If you do press, they can do something like, you know, back 4 check, down forward 1 check. And if you do sidestep, they can do something like a back 1 check. So if you do start sidewalking, for example, this will hit you. But it's not that big a deal, you know. It's like 18 damage. Wait, why do I have rage on? It's gonna be like 16 damage, I think. 17, there you go. But it's not that big a deal. It's only -4. You can even magic 4 in this situation. So just know that it's -6 situation. You can step. Step blocking is amazing. Just be aware of what you're doing. And the next situation you have to know is this. There are two situations here. One is at the wall. When this hits and you're at the wall, you're gonna get what's it called, wall crumbled or whatever they call it. The term is for that, new mechanic, the garbage mechanic. And you're gonna be a lot of minus. So in that situation, you can't press anything and you can't move. That's the only time you have to literally respect Lars for anything they can do. Not only can you not move, you can also not rage art. The Lars player has so many frames there that he can do this as a mid mix-up and you cannot rage art it if he does it correctly. Like I've live this before. So you're in a lot of minus at the wall. But now let's talk about in the neutral. Because in the neutral this creates a lot of space. You're -8. But there's a huge distance, like 2.5 distance between you and the Lars player. And the Lars player can't really check you without, you know, risking too much. And that's why a lot of Lars players, what they do is they do this right here. Because that's the biggest range move they have. And cannot be backdashed. So that's how they check you. And this is a frame trap. If you do jab, it will beat it. But the big minus of this, of course, is it's very risky for Lars. Not a lot of people actually realize how risky this is. Because this is basically launch punishable. If you see this and you hop kick, it's a punish, basically. Basically a punish. It's a hard read, but a lot of Lars players do this. So just remember that they do it. And the other thing they can do is the high, which is also, you know, launch punishable. So just remember, after Hell Sweep, it's very common for them to do this. So just take a step back, do a single backdash, wait for this to come out, and most likely they're transitioning to a stance, and that's a free hop kick. They can't do shit about this. Maybe if they do this, maybe it will work. Wait. Yeah, that will work. But yeah, you can literally press a lot of buttons here, but you won't see that power crush happening almost ever. It's good to know that it exists, but you won't see it happening. But trust me, in real matches, unless they are like, oh, this bitch is gonna hop kick me, I know she's gonna hop kick me, then I'm gonna do this, which will happen most likely after 2 or 3 games as a minimum, right? Most likely. Then you don't have to worry about that. Okay. What else? There's the rage situation as well, but I wanna like talk about rage in the end. Oh yeah, and then In the neutral, Lars also does have an orbital, so be careful about that. So don't get caught by this. This orbital can be used as a kind of a keep out, kinda, and the low crushing move as well to, you know, avoid your low speed. No, hard read it. So be careful about that because orbital actually does a shit ton of damage. Look at this, wall carry and damage, 74. Amazing damage, amazing wall carry. And the way to deal with it is very, very simple. Yeah, you just sidestep it. Damn, I'm back there? What the fuck is Lili sidestep, man? This is incredible! I feel the power! So yeah, you sidestep it very, very easily. Again, 3 sidestep. So yeah, be aware of that. What else? Outside of rage, do I have something else? Yeah, this guys, this. How to deal with this? Wait. Lars player is abusing it. I wish this was unbreakable. I wish this was unbreakable. This is a 1+2 break. If someone doesn't know, it's 1+2 break. But let's talk about rage. Let's not waste too much time. So in rage, he has 2 things, 2 rage drives. And both of them you have to look out for. Most common thing you'll see when you're playing against a Lars player and they have rage is they'll try to cheese you with something like this, for example, right? They do this, rage drive, unblockable. But as a Lili player, you can actually react to this with a step very easily. But make sure to step to the left side. Like this, because it has a little bit of tracking to the right. I mean, you can still step it, but... What the fuck? Why am I back there? So you can either react to it with a step, or even with a jab. Right? Best way to deal with it is to react to it. That's the best way to deal with it. The other things they might do is something like a hell sweep, maybe. So basically you're in a mix-up when it comes to after this move. A mini mix-up. Hold down back and press Q, you see the unblockable in my opinion. Oh yeah, that's a very good strat as well, Evil. Because if you hold down back, you're gonna block the hell sweep. You're gonna see this coming because it's slow, you're gonna just hold back. And if you see the unblockable, you can react to it and press the button or even sidestep it. So yeah, just like Evil said, I think that's the best way to deal with it. It's pretty good. The only thing that will beat that, I think, is this. But it's not that big a deal. Like, this will hit you, but it's really not that big a deal. As long as you don't get countered. Yeah, anything other than that, you'll beat. Because, you know, as long as you react to this properly. Because if this hits you, long day at the wall. See, that's about the most common ways Lars players use that rage drive. I mean, other ways they use that rage drive is in combos, like maybe something like this. You know, something like this, which like increases wall carry and increases damage by a lot. The other rage drive though, the other one, the new one, is the one that most people just instantly forget. It comes from this stance, the dense stance, dynamic entry, and it's a low. Bum, bum. It's a bit slow, it's 21, but it's not something you can react to. It's very hard to react to this. Sometimes you can, I'm not saying you can't. It's slow enough to be a little bit reactable, but most of the time you won't be able to react to it. So it's a low, mid, and guarantees a shoulder. And at the wall, it will guarantee down back 2-1 into a shoulder. So it does more damage if your back is against the wall. But this move is actually very steppable to both sides. I don't know if this is like Lili stepping it this easily, because I think it has tracking to one side, to the left. I'm pretty sure it has tracking to the left. But Lili is Lili. Oh my goodness, man. I'm so glad that Lili players don't abuse their sidesteps that much. I might be creating a monster by showing this guy how to sidestep. But it's fine, we want monsters in Tekken. But yeah, the big thing to remember about this is if you block it, it's -13. So punish it as hard as you can. Like as a Lili player, you can do 4, 2, 3. I'm pretty sure that's your best punish, right? Up to 13. This right here. So that's your best punish. You can also sidestep it, but just be aware that if they're in rage, they have this. It's important. Because they might, you know, mix you up with this sometimes, but most of the time, if they don't see you blocking it at least once, they won't mix you up, they'll instantly go for this. Most of the time, that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, until 14, 4, 2, 3. I don't know what your 14 frame is. I forgot. But yeah, that's about Rage, Lars. Is there anything else? I actually covered the special interactions as well. Oh, I guess that's it, right? Let me think a little bit. I think that's more or less it. Like, the most common moves you'll see are those that I already mentioned. Okay, that's it. If I did you know, forget something, it's fine. It's a speed lab, that's why I call it. It's not actually a lab. I know it takes a long time, but it's still a speed lab. I can sometimes don't forget things. But yeah, YouTube, big thank you for watching. Big thank you. And I'll see you guys later in the next video.